You'll need assistance. Okay, any matters that we need to address before we bring the jury into the courtroom? Okay, we'll bring the jury into the courtroom. I didn't hear Mr. Moore respond. I didn't hear you respond, but I looked at you and I didn't hear anything else, so. Yes, you may.
All rise.
We got some chairs in the way. That's good, just so you all can get through. Okay, please be seated. Okay, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. Okay, thank you. Thank you for checking your numbers. Make sure you have the right number. Has anyone been exposed to reading newspaper headlines and or articles relating to this trial or its participants? No. Has anyone seen or heard television, radio, or internet comments about this trial? No. Have you conducted or been exposed to any research regarding any matters concerning this case? And have you discussed this case among yourselves or with anyone else or allowed anyone to discuss it in your presence? No. Okay, then we may continue with the cross-examination of this witness.
Mr. Villegas, when we broke, you got an opportunity to listen to a portion of that interview on tape, right?
Yes, sir.
That was your original interview with the police on April 16th of 2012.
Okay, I'm confused. Are you talking about the interview that was conducted at the hospital?
Yes. That's what you listened to, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, this several weeks after the deputy got shot, right?
Yes.
Okay. And after listening to that tape, Remember, you're refreshed as to what you told the officers as to whether you heard a siren.
I don't remember hearing the siren. I might have, but I think I did.
Okay. Are you saying today you don't remember if you heard a siren?
I'm saying that I think I did hear a siren.
Okay. John, when you talked with the police, you told them you did not remember hearing a siren, did you?
I must not have, no.
Because that's what the tape said, right?
Yes.
That's what you said to the police.
Yes.
Okay. Now, during this call that you heard, was it an argument? It was an argument, right?
Are you referring to the call that Andrea made to me?
Yes.
In the beginning, it wasn't an argument, but then it sounded like an argument, yes.
Okay. And they're both yelling back and forth, right?
Yes.
I mean, they're yelling.
Pretty much so, yes.
Okay. He's yelling at her, and she's yelling at him.
I would say that she's more pleading with him than yelling at him.
Well, they were both yelling, right?
The voices were loud, yes.
And that's right up to the time of the shots, right?
Yes.
You didn't hear the deputy voice, did you?
No, sir, I didn't hear no deputy at all.
You didn't hear anybody yelling, get out of the car.
No, I didn't hear that.
You didn't hear anybody yelling, I need to see your hands.
No, I didn't.
You didn't hear anybody yelling other than the two individuals that you took to be in the car.
Yes.
And if you say you've known Miss Kirchner close to a year, I mean,
Approximately.
okay. Have you got to know her well?
I wouldn't say I would know her well. I just knew of her. But I wouldn't say I didn't know her on a personal basis. I knew her of coming and going in the complex that I lived in.
Did you socialize with her, or just
Yes.
in the apartment complex?
Yes, there was times where people like the guy that I married through, Phil, and a gentleman at the time that she was dating. We had a pool. Sometimes they would come out. We do cookouts. And they happened to be there, and I would have a conversation. Like hi, goodbye. But it wasn't like, we're gonna get together. I actually met her sister, and my more conversation was more about her sister than her because I knew she had a boyfriend.
And this boyfriend that she had, he was pretty tall.
Yes, sir. Black male.
So you didn't really socialize with Andrea.
Not on a regular basis, no.
And, well, at some point you got her phone number, right?
Yes, sir.
Why'd you get her phone number?
As I stated earlier, so I can get in touch with her sister. Her sister didn't have a phone.
Okay. Well, do get her phone number for any other reason than to reach her sister?
That was it.
You didn't get her phone number because you thought you could get laid after she broke up with the guy?
Well, I can't say I thought of that. No, I think I was more interested in her sister because when she had broken up with the gentleman, the taller black guy, I was told she was dating another guy.
Yeah.
Which I later learned it to be the defendant.
Remember that deposition about a month ago?
Yes, sir.
Do you recall the following question? Page 45, line 17. Okay, who gave you Andrea's phone number? Did Andrea give you her phone number, or your answer?
You know, I don't remember exactly how I got her phone number.
I don't remember. You know, I think it was a guy, whatever his name was, I forget. Bill, I think, gave me her phone number.
Yes, that's exactly.
Let me finish. Because at the time I think I got her phone number, she had just broken up from the black guy that was a tall black guy. And I'm single. I got the number, I think, because it was a girl I could probably hook up with. Recall that?
Yeah, I remember saying that.
And you recall the question, you thought you could hook up with Andrea? And your answer, yeah, but then I found out she likes nothing but black guys.
Yes, sir.
And you remember the following question. Same on page 46. So you get her number from Phil, wanting to see if you could hook up. And your answer, yeah, I think I asked for him, so I could see if I could, whatever. And then the question, well, what do you mean, whatever? And you responded, well, there's a lady in the house talking about the court reporter. And the response from the attorneys, well, she's heard worse, trust me. Do you recall giving the response? It was to get laid, man.
Yeah.
You recall that?
Yeah, I remember seeing that clearly.
Now?
What do you mean now? Yeah,
Now
I just
you
said I
recall that?
remember it. I just said yes, I did
Okay.
remember it.
All right. What do you recall? How would you describe Andrea Kirchner's personality?
Oh, I really can't really say. I know that she used drugs a lot. She drank a lot. She was a party girl.
Would you describe her as cocky?
I really never got to know her that well to be able to say she was cocky.
Would you describe her as assertive? She could take care of herself?
I don't know, sir.
Have you ever described her as cocky and assertive, that she could handle herself?
I'm sure maybe she probably could handle herself, but I can't say I know that for sure.
Have you ever expressed that opinion?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
If you said that in your interview, did you tell the police that in that same interview?
I don't recall.
You saying you might have?
Maybe I have. I don't remember.
Would you trust me at this point on that?
Excuse me?
Would you trust me at this point on that?
Trust you?
Yeah.
About what?
Whether you told the police that Andrea is cocky and assertive and can handle herself.
I just told you that. Maybe I did say that. I don't know. I don't remember.
All right. Why didn't you contact the police when you hear this incident?
Why didn't I? Because I think, by the outcomes of what was going on that I can hear from the phone is that the police were already there.
Okay.
I didn't find out that the police officer was shot until after it had already been done.
Right. And then once you heard it, why didn't you contact the police? You knew.
I didn't think I needed to. Like I just said, I thought the police were already there and involved.
Did you want to contact the police?
I really don't know. I mean, at the time that this all happened, I was under the impression that the police were involved already, sir. So I didn't think it was necessary for me to call the police.
Well, didn't you tell people that you wanted to call the police?
After the incident happened, yes, I felt, when I found out that the police officer was shot in the face, yes, I felt like maybe I should have said something to somebody about it, yes. But that was down the road after I'd already known about that the policewoman was shot in the face.
How far down the road was it?
Probably months.
Months?
Yes, sir.
Well, didn't you tell the police during that same interview that you wanted so bad to tell the police?
I'd like to know what incident you're talking about where I spoke to the police, because I don't remember talking to the police that you're saying that I talked to. I don't remember speaking to the police, you know what I'm saying?
Well, you heard part of it this afternoon, right?
Okay. I thought that was the interview that we took at the hospital when you and your partners came to see me.
You thought that interview was a month ago?
That's what I thought we were listening to.
Did that voice sound anything at all like me, sir?
Sir, I don't remember, to be totally honest. I thought that what I was listening to was the interview when you and your colleagues came to see me when I was in the hospital at rehab for my back.
What medications you're on today?
What medication am I on? I'm on quite a bit of medication.
What?
Oh, God, I can't remember all their names. I take bipolar medicine. I take pain medicine. I take blood pressure medicine. I take thyroid medicine. I mean...
Well, what pain medications are you on right now?
I take oxycodone.
And what else?
I have Robaxin, Neurontin,
Okay.
Xanax.
Okay. And what psychiatric meds are you on today?
I take Lexapro. I take Xanax and some other pills that I don't really know the names of.
Okay. And is Lexapro for bipolar?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, at the time this occurred, you were on probation, right?
Yes, sir.
And you're still on probation today, right?
Yes, sir.
And that's for two counts of sale of cocaine, right?
Yes, sir.
And you can get 15 years apiece if found in violation of probation on those offenses, right?
Possibility, yes, sir.
Right? You got put on in 2009, right?
Something like that.
And over the course of those years, you've had a few situations where you got violated, right?
Yeah.
You got put in jail,
Yeah.
and you had a hearing, and either the probation violation would be dismissed or modified your probation, right?
Yeah, but can I ask why, or what's the purpose of all these questions about my probation?
You can ask your next question.
I can't answer your question. It's not for me to determine.
Well, you're asking me the
Okay,
questions.
don't ask him questions, he's asking you questions, please.
And the probation ends later this year, right? If, assuming you successfully complete it.
Yes, sir.
Now, how this case goes could possibly have an effect on your probation, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
You don't think that your testimony in this case might matter to the state?
I don't think I've done anything wrong. I don't know what you mean.
Well, you might be doing something right. What do you think about that?
I thought I was.
Might be getting some benefit from this.
I have not been promised anything or told anything like that, no.
Every little bit helps, though, right?
Sir, I can't answer that question because I don't know.
Okay. Do you have hope of that?
No,
No?
never came to mind.
Okay. Now, when the police visited you, did they talk to you? Now, you've indicated that you never really spent that much time socializing with Andrea outside the apartment complex, right?
Yes, sir.
Did you ever ride in a vehicle with her?
No, I've never rode in a vehicle with her. I do remember once giving Phil a ride to pick up her sister and bring them back to our apartment complex.
Okay.
We were doing a cookout, and I saw Andrea and the defendant in a hotel.
You've never bought and sold drugs with Andrea?
No, sir.
Is there a reason why a bottle of OxyContin prescribed to Jeffrey J. Diaz would be in the vehicle that they were in on March 6th?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
A bottle of Oxy.
I do know that I've had my apartment and on a Gold Circle where I live. I went into the hospital, came home, and my apartment had been broken into because all my medication was stolen. I made a police report of it.
When was that?
Oh, God, I don't remember the exact date and time, but I was in rehab and I went to a place down south.
When was that? When was the reason?
It's been a couple of years ago. Port St. Lucie is where I live.
And, now, as far as you got contacted at some point by Andrea Kirchner's lawyer, right?
Say that again, sir.
You got contacted at some point by Andrea Kirchner's lawyer.
Yes, I sure did. I received a subpoena by Michael Ross.
And you talked to a representative of their office on the telephone.
I spoke to a lady, yes.
And gave them a brief rundown of what you knew, or they told you that, hey, we may need you, right?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Diaz, have you ever been, besides the 2 sales of cocaine, have you ever been convicted of a felony offense?
Yes, sir, I am.
How many times?
I don't know. I don't keep track.
Are you the same Jeffrey Dieguez? Pled guilty, adjudicated guilty of possession of cannabis with the intent to sell or deliver in Hillsborough County in December of 1999.
That was eventually dropped.
I'm sorry?
Can you say that again?
Are you the same Jeffrey Dieguez convicted of possession of cannabis with the intent to sell or deliver, who was convicted and sentenced in December of 1999 to 3 years probation with the Department of Corrections?
Yes, I remember. It was marijuana.
Sir?
Marijuana.
And are you the same Jeffrey Dieguez convicted of robbery in Hillsborough County February 6th, 1990?
Yes.
Sir?
Yes.
Are you the same Jeffrey Dieguez convicted of aggravated assault in the 7th day of October 2004 in Hillsborough County?
And what was that for?
Aggravated assault.
Yes, sir.
You had a sale of cocaine. Have you ever been convicted of a crime of dishonesty or false statement?
Never.
Never?
Never that I'm aware of.
You ever get convicted of petty theft?
Petty theft. I think so. Yes. I was picking up pallets.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
And have you been convicted of a crime of dishonesty or false statement of unauthorized reception of cable TV,
Yes, sir.
unauthorized possession of cable TV equipment?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Petty theft. June of 2002 in Hillsborough County, 60 days county jail. Sound right?
Yeah.
Petty theft, lesser offense of stealing stolen property. March 10, 2003.
Yes, sir.
Sir?
Yes, sir. Can I ask why are we asking all these questions about me?
You can't ask him questions. No,
Uh,
sir.
Petty theft in Brevard County on June 8th. I apologize, not you. And have my
Yes, you may.
Mr. Villegas, you've been on these medications, different medications, but basically the same sort of medications for your psychiatric and health and pain management since you fell in that construction incident, right?
Yes, sir.
And some of those medications affect your memory, right?
Sometimes I've been told.
Okay. And for things that you may not remember or remember differently from one day to the next, could be because of medications, right?
Possibility.
Thank you.
Okay, redirect by the state.
Mr. Villegas, you are in good standing with your probation, are you not?
Yes, sir, I am.
You're not in violation status?
No, sir.
Not awaiting sentencing for anything?
No, sir.
And has the state promised you anything in return for your testimony?
No, sir.
You didn't volunteer to come to the state and give this testimony. The sheriff's office actually tracked you down before you told them the story. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But the story that you told on the stand today to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury about the conversation that you heard between Andrea and the man in the car leading up to the shooting,
Yes,
is that the truth?
Yes, sir.
Is that the same story you told in your deposition when the defense attorneys and I came out to the rehab hospital and took your deposition?
It's been the same story I've told since day one, sir.
Same story you told to the officers in April of 2012 when they tracked you down from the phone records?
Yes, sir.
No further questions.
Okay, recross.
Well, not exactly the same, is it? Did you previously tell the agents that you didn't hear a siren, right?
Okay, I didn't hear it. I said I didn't know if I heard sirens or not.
Okay. And you said that you didn't know him from Joe Blow, hadn't heard his voice and couldn't identify him, right? In the deposition,
Yep.
right? That's changed a little bit, don't you think?
I know who the man was the day of the shooting. When the officer was shot, I know that was that man in the vehicle with Andrea. And I know what I heard that day, and I'll never forget it for the rest of my life. And I do know who was in that vehicle on that day. Now, whether I heard a siren or not, I can't tell you if I heard a siren or not. I do know what I heard that day when the phone was left on to where I can hear it for 30-some odd minutes, and I do know who was in the vehicle at the time of that shooting. I can tell you that I remember that, and I will remember it for the rest of the days of my life, because it's tragedies. When something tragic like that happens, I don't think anybody can forget about it.
You can remember all that, but you can't remember being visited by a homicide detective and doing an hour-long interview, right?
First of all,
Okay, overruled.
Right?
okay, I will say that 2 detectives came to see me at a time that I was sedated because I had just been stabbed and robbed in a hospital. So as far as my conversation with them was very blurry to me.
Okay. You sure you can't remember this so well because of Denise Kirchner?
What's that got to do with her? She was in the vehicle with the defendant.
Denise Kirchner.
Yeah, that's her sister, but I'm saying, what's that got to do with it? I know who was in the vehicle. I'm not trying to cover up anything or trying to lie about any of this.
And you're not trying maybe to get laid later by the sister.
That's totally ridiculous. I haven't seen no girl since the incident happened. and I couldn't tell you where she's at or her phone number or anything because I've moved on.
Okay, sir, thank you for your testimony.
Wow. It's the first time I've ever been on a jury. Am I free to go? Am I free to
You
go?
need to ask them, you're under subpoena by the state.
Am I free to go?
Okay, other witnesses on behalf of the state.
State calls Trista Lohman.
Krista Lohman. Ma'am, if you'll step up before the clerk to be sworn. Ma'am, if you'll have a seat in the witness chair. Once seated, if you scoot your chair forward, do adjust that microphone to suit you. You talk into that microphone. Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. If you would, I'm going to ask you to talk directly to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I'm going to start by telling them your name.
Trista Lohman,
And how do you spell your last name?
Lowman,
What area of town do you live in, ma'am?
Melbourne.
And do you live did you have an occasion to be at the Elena Way address back in March, specifically March 6th,
Yes.
2012?
Yes.
Were you living in that neighborhood at the time?
Yes.
Approximately 11, a little after 11 o'clock or so in the morning on that day, did you have an occasion to see a deputy stop a vehicle or in the process of stopping a vehicle near your residence?
Yes.
Where were you coming from?
Walmart.
And who was in the vehicle with you, if anybody?
Me and my daughter, she was 4 months at the time.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen what you saw when you were returning home that morning.
When I turned onto my street, I saw an SUV pulled over to the side by a cop car right next to my house.
And what color was the SUV?
White.
Did you have to drive by the police car and the white SUV in order to get to your house?
Yes.
Can you approach the witness, Judge?
Yes, you may.
Showing you what has been admitted into evidence. As states exhibit number 37. Can you identify where your residence is in that photograph?
Yes.
And if you would you just hold it up for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and point to where you were?
This is my house here.
Now, the police car that's depicted on the left-hand side of that photograph was not present at the time you drove by, is that correct?
Correct.
Where did you come from and where did you go?
I pulled in right here and passed this cop car and pulled in right in front of this van.
And what, if anything, were you able to see with respect to who might have been inside the white SUV at the time you drove by?
I saw a black male, and from what I thought at the time was a girl inside.
Where was the black male?
in the driver's seat,
And where was the girl?
in the passenger seat.
Front passenger?
Yes,
Anybody else in the vehicle that you were able to see?
not that I could see.
What did you do after you parked your car in the driveway?
I got out of my car and I started to slowly unload my groceries.
You still in your driveway?
I was.
What happened next?
I could hear a little bit of talking.
Between the officer and the people in the SUV?
Correct.
Could you tell what was being said?
No.
What happened?
So I was moving at a slow pace, being very curious to what was going on because it was so close to my house. And I heard the conversation get a little louder. So I moved even slower, just wondering what was going on.
What happened next?
When they started speaking louder, I heard the police officer tell
Okay, overruled.
But
the male in the car to get out of the car.
did he get out of the car?
Not that I could see, no.
Were you kind of watching what was going on with them? Or
I
were you
was.
more attention to getting the groceries and the baby?
I started watching what was going on.
Tell us what you saw. Or
When she was telling him to get out of the car, I saw the white SUV started to slowly move, like at a creeping pace down the street, closer to where my house was. So I was watching, and when the car moved, it took a little turn, like that it was trying to get out of the neighborhood, and she just was following with the car, and she just kept saying the same thing, get out of your car.
what happened next?
After that, I heard gunshots, and I had crouched down on the side of my car to make sure that nothing was coming my way, and I saw the smoke in the air, and I just kept hearing shot after shot. And when the shot stopped, I, like an idiot, ran over to the car to see if someone was hurt.
Was the SUV still there at that time?
The SUV had, after it was slowly moving towards the front of my neighborhood, it sped off.
Did it? Which direction did it go?
I don't know.
Did it go back toward John Rhodes Boulevard?
Yes.
Where it had been parked? It actually made a
It made
U-turn?
like a U-turn, correct.
And did you see what direction that it went when it hit John Rhodes Boulevard?
No, because I had seen the officer was hurt, so I didn't really pay attention to which way the car went.
Did you take out your phone and call 911 at
I
that
did.
time? Further questions?
Okay, cross-examination by the defense.
Yes, Your Honor. Good afternoon, Ms. Longman.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
Ms. Longman, when you came, before that you heard the shots, you indicated that the car, it was, when you come into your development, your home at the time is on the right-hand side, right?
Correct.
That's where the SUV was pretty much on the right-hand side, correct?
Correct.
And when you, before you hear the shots, you indicated earlier that the SUV started to move slowly, it was going to the left, right?
It was going straight and then going to make a U-turn to get out of the neighborhood.
Right, so it was going straight, and then to make
Right.
a U-turn, it would have to go left.
Right.
So away from your house, right, trying to
Right.
get out to the exit of your subdivision,
Right.
right? There's only one way in and one way out.
Right.
Okay. And at no time did you hear the female in the car in the SUV say anything, correct?
No, I didn't hear her say anything.
And you didn't hear the black male say anything as well, correct?
No, I didn't.
And earlier on during the wreck, you said the deputy was walking after the car as well, correct?
Walking with the car as it had slowly started to move.
Okay,
Right.
so when the SUV was starting to make that movement to go forward and go to the left and head out, that's when you also saw the officer walk with it.
Right.
Okay. And remember, the officer she had her gun on her hand on her weapon, correct?
Right.
You heard the shots. You heard them, but you couldn't see which door, which window from the car they were coming from, correct?
Correct.
And you couldn't see who was shooting, correct?
Correct.
And the shots were very quick, one after another, right?
Yes.
Boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
Did you have a comment?
Yes, ma'am.
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Redirect. Thank you, ma'am. You may step down. Okay, other witnesses on behalf of the state.
State calls Deputy Victor Velez.
Sir, if you'll step up before the clerk to be sworn.
You promise to affirm anything that you will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Sir, if you'll be seated in the witness chair. Once seated, if you'll roll that chair forward, do adjust that microphone to fit you. Do talk into that microphone. It aids in hearing your testimony. It also aids in recording your testimony. Okay, Mr. McMaster.
Good afternoon, sir. If you would direct your remarks to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury and start by telling them your name.
I'm Deputy Victor Velez with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office.
And what's your position with the Brevard County Sheriff's Office?
I'm currently in a civil unit.
Are you a sworn deputy?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been with BCSO?
I'm in my 15th year with the Sheriff's Office.
And Deputy Velez, on March 6th of 2012, how were you assigned?
I was assigned to Zone 71 in the South area. Yes, sir.
Uniform patrol in the South area?
Yes, sir.
At the same general area that the Deputy Barbara Pill and Deputy Jim Troop were assigned to?
Yes. Barbara was my zone partner. She was assigned to Zone 72. I was in Zone 71, and Jim Troop was in Zone 73.
On the morning hours of March 6th of 2012, did you get involved in the dispatch call about stolen property from the Econo Lodge Hotel in 192?
No, I was already currently on a kidnapping call. I didn't get assigned to that call. I believe I could hear radio traffic, and Jim Troop was currently investigating that.
Were you monitoring radio traffic between this Deputy Troop about the call and as well as the information being relayed by Deputy Pill?
Yes, Deputy Troop had put a bolo out on the suspect vehicle information while I was taking the narrative.
Okay, sustained.
You were looking for a particular vehicle. Or they were looking for a particular vehicle.
The radio traffic, that's what I heard. I was, like I said, I was currently on a kidnapping call, assigned to a kidnapping call, taking a report from another victim.
And at what point is it that you cleared your call and went to assist as a backup officer?
I had already heard Barbara had conducted a traffic stop of the suspected vehicle. I was trying to monitor her on the radio while I was also taking a report from my victim on the kidnapping call. I heard her come back on the radio saying that the subject was...
Okay, overruled based on the court's prior ruling.
I heard her over the radio state that the subject was refusing to get out of the vehicle.
That's when you cleared and went to help?
I heard Deputy Jim Troop said he was on his way to...
Okay, I'll sustain as to what the Deputy Troop said.
You were aware of what Troop was doing. What, if anything, were you doing at that time?
I immediately cleared my call and was on my way to go and back her up.
that an emergency run that you made at that point?
Yes, I went in emergency response. From listening to the tone of her voice, I can tell that she needed somebody there quick.
And did you go directly to her location?
Yes, I took the quickest route to get to her location, yes.
Do you recall where the call was that you were on that you had cleared to go as a backup officer?
I was approximately 2.5 miles away from where she was located at when I left my car to go and back her up.
You arrived shortly after Deputy Troop, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
You were the second officer on scene.
Yes, sir.
We saw the video earlier today, and I think you appear in the video. It appears you go over to Deputy Bill who's lying on the ground at that point.
Yes, sir.
Was there anything you could do?
I tried to touch her to see if there was a response. She was laying on her back with her hands thrown back. Her eyes were open, wide open. She was looking into the sky. She was gasping.
Objection. There it is, and I'm responsive.
Okay, sustained.
What did you observe?
I can tell from the gunshot wound to the head that there's not much that I would be able to do, so I immediately tried to locate witnesses.
You, in fact, went and spoke to the neighbor, Krista Loman,
Yes, I did, sir.
the lady who just left.
Yes, sir.
And between you and Deputy Troop, did you get the information about the vehicle and notify other agents to be on the lookout for that?
I got all the information that I could from the witnesses, and I called it out over the radio. I let our supervisor know what was going on. And
Thank you, sir. No further questions?
A cross-examination by the defense.
No question.
Okay, sir, thank you for your testimony. You're free to step down. Other witnesses by the state.
Statement called Greg Gillette.
Sir, if you'll step up to the clerk to be sworn.
Do you solemnly swear to have any testimony you should give the whole truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, that's correct?
I do.
Sir, if you'll be seated in the witness chair. Once seated, if you'll scoot that chair forward, it does roll around. And do you adjust that microphone? Do talk into that microphone. It helps us hear your testimony. It also aids in recording your testimony.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Brown.
Sir, could you state your name and spell your last name for the jury?
Sure. My name's Detective Greg Gillette. Gillette, G-U-I-L-L-E-T-T-E.
And Detective Gillette, how are you employed?
I am employed with the Palm Bay Police Department.
And how long have you been employed with the Palm Bay Police Department?
I've been a detective with Palm Bay Police Department around 7 years, and I've also been a police officer for 6 previous years in Rhode Island.
Now, what are your duties with the Palm Bay Police Department?
I'm a digital forensics expert.
Tell the jury what is digital forensics.
Sure. Digital forensics is basically use a set of scientific principles and procedures to extract evidence from an electronic device. An electronic device could be a computer, a cell phone, a surveillance system, pretty much anything electronic. It's my job to locate the evidence and then figure out a way to get it off that device in a court-approved way.
Tell the jury what type of training experience you have in this area.
I have I'm an active member of the United States Secret Service Electronic Evidence Task Force, and with them I'm about 700 hours of training, advanced training, at the National Computer Forensics Institute in Hoover, Alabama.
And were you contacted for your involvement in this case by myself and Mr. McMaster?
Yes.
And what were you requested to do?
I was requested to look at a video of the incident, and they had a few requests to make clips, specific segments of the video, and to slow the footage down.
And the particular video, was it the dashboard camera of Deputy Bill's car?
Yes, sir.
Can I approach the witness?
Yes, you may.
First, I'm going to show you what has been marked as Exhibit GB. B. Do you recognize that exhibit?
Yes.
And how do you recognize it?
It's the disc that I produced for you, the slow motion video.
And what is contained on that disc?
About a 14-second clip of the shooting incident. The time frame.
How did you produce that disc?
Rather simply, actually. I use a program called Adobe Premiere Pro, which is a video editing program. It's similar to Photoshop, but for videos. Basically, I take a copy of the video you give me, and I want to use the original, and upload it into the software, and then very simply go to the time frame and segment that you want, and very simply select it out, save it as a separate file, and then export it, and save it to a disk.
And then when you talk about slow it down, what do you ultimately produce from it?
A slow motion video. It'll be played at about half the speed, the normal speed. The video, when it was recorded at 25 frames per second. A frame per second is basically a video, just a bunch of still pictures in a row. So if it's 25 frames per second, in 1 second, there's 25 still pictures, if that makes sense. I slowed the video down to 20 frames per second. So it's just slowed down a little bit.
And in any way, did you alter the video in any manner?
Other than slowing it down, no.
And in addition, did you make still photographs in this case? Or still images?
Yeah.
Or did you produce or slow it down to the point of producing still images?
Yes.
And how were you able to do that?
Basically, very simply once it's uploaded into the software, you can just narrow the focus down in on the video and go down to milliseconds. So
I'm going to show you what is marked as AW for identification.
yes,
Without showing them to the jury, do you recognize the photographs that are contained in there?
yes.
And what are those photographs?
These are still frame photographs of this. This is the video format, and this is it broken down into still pictures.
Again, at this time, the state will move each of those numbered exhibits into evidence at the next numbered state exhibits.
Okay, response from the defense. Yes, you may. Okay, States AW will be received as States Exhibit 47. States GB will be received as States 48. Now, Mr. Brown, it's my understanding that you wish to publish States 48 but not States 47.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, any exhibits which have been introduced into evidence which are not being published to you will be available for your consideration during jury deliberations. Okay, at this time, it would be appropriate to go ahead and take a break so that we can set up the TV, and that would also be our afternoon break. So court will be in recess until right before, let's do 3 p.m. Court will be in recess until 3 p.m. During this recess, you must continue to abide by your rules governing your service as a jury. Thank you.
All right.
Okay, please be seated. Detective Gillette.
Yes.
You can be at recess until 3 p.m. Be back here at 3 p.m. I'm going to put you on the stand before we bring the jury back out, and we'll be in recess till 3 p.m. as well. Thank you.
Thank you.